midnight haze, chasing shadows in the darkest maze. Footsteps echo in the empty hall, mysteries waiting on our call. Bigfoot stomping through the pines, aliens sending secret signs. EVPs in the dead of night, ghosts dancing in the pale moonlight. Paranormal for what we bring it to you. Truth behind the veil, gotta pursue you.
All right.
Well, hello, everybody.
Hey, so we didn't have a show on Saturday, but
It was storming.
there was actually a few tornadoes touched down around us. So it was a good call on Jason's part. Jason's calls me and he's like, so are you wanting to do a show? I was like, yeah, I mean, you know, and he's like, it's supposed to.
No, first I was going, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're going to do. Show. I can't find nothing. It's
like,
going to storm.
He was like, it's going to storm. It's going to storm pretty bad. And then I started looking and it was like, man, they're calling for tornadoes. Right? We're in a tornado warning right now.
I know.
Maybe we don't need to do a show. So
there was a couple. I got couple of trees down in the woods.
Did you?
Uprooted.
Wow. I know we had, about a mile or so from here, had one touchdown. So
yeah. Roane County.
Yeah, one was going right up 75 up here.
Yeah.
So
tonight we got a great show lined up. We're going to be talking about
St. Malachi.
St. Malachi, his prophecy. Are we in the final days? Is this the last pope? Is Rome going to be destroyed?
How about we're all going to be in for it, aren't we? This is supposed to be like
hellfire and
right?
brimstone.
Yeah.
Coming down. Revelations is coming true.
Uh-oh. Hang on to your hats.
So if you just imagine, now this is pretty good stuff.
Yeah, it is neat because, I mean, supposedly St. Malachi, and we'll get into that here in a minute, but done quite a few things during his lifetime. So.
Yeah. So just imagine a world where time isn't a straight line, but a code, a cipher, and it's just carved into the stones of history. So, and it's just waiting to be cracked open, and maybe we can crack it open.
Hey, that'd be pretty cool.
So this is a world where a 12th century mystic.
Hey, Shell.
Hello, Michelle. This is a world where a 12th century mystic, a man who spoke to angels, healed the sick, and foresaw the future, he penned a prophecy so dangerous, so divine.
Hello, Barbara.
That it was buried for centuries.
Yes.
And a prophecy that even now whispers the Vatican's demise. So could it be the end of days?
We'll see.
Do you think this is a sign?
I don't know. We've had many of them.
Yeah, we've had a lot of prophecies that just didn't come true.
Right.
So it's something.
That's the fun thing about talking about them, though, because you can look at them from so many different angles,
Yeah. So this is going to be the story of St. Malachi and the chilling countdown to the apocalypse that he foretold.
Yes. Yeah.
David's going to be talking about Mr. St. Malachi.
Yeah. So who was St. Malachi? Excuse me, everybody. So in the mist-shrouded hills of medieval Ireland, where druids once chanted and saints walked barefoot through bogs, a boy named, and I'm going to kill this.
Yeah.
Mael Maedoc Ua Morgair. You're welcome. Later known as Malachi, was born in 1094. Now, by the age of 25, he was a bishop By the time he was 30, he had become Archbishop and the spiritual heart of Ireland. Now, Malachi was no ordinary cleric. He was a mystic, a man of visions. So chroniclers wrote of his miracles. He healed the blind. He calmed storms with prayers, even resurrected the dead. Can you believe that? This guy was just good. But his greatest gift was his ability to see, to glimpse the future. So in 1139, during a pilgrimage to Rome, Malachi fell into a trance before the tomb of St. Peter. Now there, in the shadow of the Vatican, he claimed to receive a vision, 112 Latin phrases, each corresponding to a future pope, ending with the collapse of the church itself. Now, this is the prophecy of the popes. So Malachi's prophecy was no mere list. It was a riddle wrapped in symbolism, sealed by time. There was phrases like fire in the water or from the labor of the sun, cryptic, poetic, and maddeningly vague. Yet when the final pope, Peter the Roman, ascends the throne, Malachi warned Rome himself would burn and the world would face a divine judgment.
Yeah, that goes along with the book of Revelations too, right?
Right. It does.
Barbara says it's the last days, the last pope, the red heifers, and building of the temple, Israel, a nation over 70 years, the planetary lineups, etc., all in the line.
Yeah, I think some of them are self-fulfilling prophecies because the red heifers were actually born here in America and they took them over there to Israel, and they were not born in Israel. Also, a bunch of really rich people here in America are trying to fund the rebuilding of the Solomon's Temple because that's part of it. So, are they trying to make something happen? I think that that's very possible.
I think, yeah.
I do.
I think a lot of things like that we make happen.
Yeah. Right. Well, I mean, in that neck of the woods too, excuse me, in that neck of the woods, them doing all this stuff and probably rebuilding of the Solomon's Temple and all that stuff would probably start another war.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So in that.
Well, it's very unstabilized over there right now in Gaza.
Yeah.
So
really bad.
I mean, it's right there. I mean, we're on the brink of World War III.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yep. Everybody's on edge. I'm a donkey on the edge.
They could have in the 60s, they could have seen this foretold through that. We've done a show on it. The chronovisor.
Oh yeah.
You remember?
Yeah.
The Vatican and the chronovisor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, the chronovisor was a good show. So do you want to take over here or do you want me to keep going for a minute?
I can go ahead. I can do it a little bit. So here's where the mystery deepens. After Malachi's death in 1148, the prophecy vanished for 450 years. It was
that's crazy, isn't it?
Unheard of. So there wasn't even a record of it. No manuscripts, no sermons, no whispers in the Vatican halls. But then in 1590, when a Benedictine monk named Arnold. Yeah. Arnold de Wyon, he discovered it. He published it. But why did he publish it then? Why was it discovered and why did he publish it then? Why 1590?
Hey, Roy.
What's up, bird dog? 1590 was a time of upheaval when the Catholic Church was battling Protestants and the rebels and clinging to power. Was it just a coincidence or maybe he calculated the act to suppress truth, and he finally unleashed it. So, since 1590, every pope has allegedly matched Malachi's phrases. Pius
The 10th.
the 10th, fire in the water, presided over the naval arms race that ignited World War I. John Paul II, from the labor of the sun, was born under a solar eclipse. Benedict the 16th, glory of the olive was his phrase, tied to olive branch symbolism. And now Pope Francis, which he's the current pope, in the extreme persecution of the Holy Roman Church. So this pattern's too precise to dismiss. So why does the Vatican deny the prophecy? Why do they burn the archives? Why do they silence historians and dismiss Malachi as a medieval myth? It's because they fear panic. Or it could be because they know it's true. What do you think?
That's possible. That is possible. You know, tonight we're going to unravel this. We're going to trace the threads of this 900-year-old vision that may hold the key to our future, and going to ask the question the church doesn't want you to consider.
Yeah.
Are we living in the last days of St. Malachi's countdown? Possibly. You know,
it's I don't know if it's coincidence or not, but it's compelling.
It is. It's pretty neat. So follow us where the saints, secrets, and prophecies collide. The clock is ticking, and the final pope may already be among us. So with the trail of clues, we'll begin with the question that haunts most scholars. Why does St. Malachi's prophecy vanish for 450 years?
Yeah, why? I mean, maybe they buried it, didn't want it foretold.
Yeah, and then the other guy found it and
said, yeah,
let's bring it out.
But, you know, you got all these other scientists and scholars say, oh, no.
Right. Is that true? Really?
They don't believe in nothing. Nothing that could be unexplainable or strange. I mean, gosh, I just get sick of it.
Yeah. So in 1139, Malachi allegedly hands his vision to Pope Innocent II. Then silence. There are no records, no copies.
Nothing.
There's nothing. Until 1590, at the height of the Counter-Reformation, when a Benedictine monk finds it and publishes it. Now that's crazy, right?
So you got this. These guys are among the holiest of holy. Why would he say his vision? Why would he lie about a vision that he had? And plus 112
Why would you
phrases,
write it down? Yeah.
112 phrases in a dream.
Yeah.
How could he remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's unnatural. I think he was holy.
You think so? You think he really raised the dead and healed the sick? And
I believe you can do that. I believe people have the power to do that.
I think it's possible.
We all have it. We just, some of us have it more. They have it.
Well, you believe it more.
Yeah.
Maybe
you know, there was some words in the Bible, which I'm just quoting, that says spoken words, or you can speak something into existence.
Yeah. Well, we do know that, you know, we've talked about, you know, that over time. And I think that what you say, and if you want to take like what we're talking about now, the Bible and things like that, you know, when you speak something, say Barbara,
Hebrews 11:3,
right? When you speak something, it is going to come true.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
We have that power.
Yep, it's there. So now ask yourselves why. The church is fractured, Protestants are rising, and the Vatican is desperate. And suddenly, this prophecy emerges, which is a divine guarantee that God still appoints popes. Now, a propaganda masterpiece? Maybe. But now here's a twist. The Vatican denies its authenticity. They call it a forgery. Now, why would they do that? Because maybe it worked too well? Or because the prophecy's final lines, the end of the church, are a truth they cannot afford to reveal? I mean, how would you go about, on that one part? If the rest of it's real, then that one wouldn't be.
Anybody that believes in the Bible knows that in the last days, the church and religion will be, very.
Roy says he's going to win the lottery because he's speaking it into existence.
You can do that. I mean,
manifestations. I'll tell you about manifestation, and it's really funny because the wife and I got, for a while, we were really we were sitting down, we were concentrating on what it is that we wanted, where we wanted to be, right? And it's like something just clicks into place. And it got to the point there for a little while that we was like, man, we really need XYZ. Right? XYZ would present itself to us, and it would be affordable enough that you would definitely buy X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be something that would be whatever X, Y, and Z's normal price was.
Right.
And other things came about with it too, though, and manifestation's real. If anybody has any doubts, take a few months and only think of positive things. Think of yourself in a positive way. Don't down yourself because, they say that that's just as bad as other people downing you.
Yeah.
Your body doesn't know the difference. And really contemplate what it is that you want, what it is that you're going for in your life. And it's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
100%. It's going to happen to you.
I know of plenty of tales of people that, including myself, have like a disease. If you keep thinking that, oh, I'm going to die of cancer, I'm going to die of cancer, I'm going to die of cancer, you can manifest that.
Yes.
And it can really happen.
Yes.
And you will probably die of that disease.
Right. Yes.
I've seen a lot of that.
Faces in the stone. This is a big truth. Don't ever down yourself. We all do it. We do. Sometimes, most of the time, we're our biggest critic.
Yeah.
And Faces in the Stone, I've been watching a lot of your videos. They're really neat.
Yeah, we're going to have to get you on the podcast.
Yeah, they're really neat. And I'm a big history kind of guy too. So I'm really interested in what you do. So it's pretty cool. Jeff Reagan says, is it prophecy or is it conspiracy? The time has come for the receiver. The Receiver is one of Catalyst's songs.
Oh,
yeah.
We need the new songs, or was it an old song?
I think that's an older song that he has. Yeah, The Receiver. But that's the thing, right, Jeff? Is that what is it? Is it a prophecy or is it a conspiracy theory? Faces in the Stone says he's available for the show. Been looking forward to the opportunity.
Great. We'll get in touch.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to try to set something up, just email us, and that's the easiest way for us to go back and forth and be able to hash out times and stuff.
Yeah.
So info@paranormal411.org.
Yeah.
We're always looking for good guests.
So Roy says Mary Ann and I talked about our plans and ever since then the devil has attacked us in so many ways to try to prevent it.
Yep, and that's a way to look at it. And I'll tell you another way to look at it, Roy. How many people do you tell about your plans?
Yeah.
Because there's people out there, and look, I've had to live this one myself multiple times because Dave gets excited. Ask Jason. Something happens, we'll just say for the show. I get excited because we're going to get these opportunities coming, right? And these opportunities come. So I'm like telling friends and family, like, look, we're going to get these opportunities come. Haters can throw that negative energy at you.
Yeah.
And shut those things right back down. So, yeah, it could be the devil. But if you tell a lot of people about all these things that you're trying to manifest in your life, other people can also knock you out of that too.
Well, you got to think positive, Roy. You got to block that negative
all the time. Yes.
Just keep wishing or keep, I don't know.
Manifesting.
Manifesting, wishing, whatever you want to call it, but, or praying. If you pray, keep praying for it.
Shell says they're haters in the form of friends. It is. I mean, a lot of times you'll have people that are not really happy for you.
Right.
in the fact that you're doing a little bit better. So, but yes. So you want to start with the uncanny matches?
Yeah. Some of the, let's get into some of the coincidences. Starting with Pope the 10th.
Yep.
1903 to 1914. The Pope was Ignace Ardens, and I guess his phrase was burning fire. That's what Malachi said. His phrase was burning fire. So a pious Pope who raged against modernity, but his reign ended in 1914, the year World War I began. So a war ignited by naval tensions, fire in the water, was Malachi's predicting global catastrophe. Was he predicting that global catastrophe?
Right. And that Pope being kind of tied to it as being around at that point. Yeah. I can see it.
So we have another Pope, Paul the Sixth, from 1963 to 1978. His phrase was Flos Florum, which is flower of flowers. So his coat of arms dripped with lilies, the flower of flowers. But Paul the Sixth also oversaw Vatican II, modernizing the church was the flower, a symbol of renewal or a warning that beauty was going to be rotten. Now, this is where you get into the good stuff. John Paul.
Yep.
John Paul II, which I can remember this. He was from 1978 to 2005. His phrase was De Labor Solis, which means from the labor of the sun. So guess what? This Pope was born during the solar eclipse.
Right.
And the sun's laboring in shadow, yet his papacy was defined by labor. He survived an assassination attempt. He toppled communism, did a lot of miracles. He was a Pope who was of the sun. So I think that was a correct phrase that they give him.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Barbara says John Paul was my grandfather's cousin.
Grandmother's cousin.
Grandmother's cousin.
That's cool. Huh.
You can go ahead and do the next one.
So Benedict the 16th was 2005 to 2013. And Gloria Oliva, or Glory of the Olive. Now, he was the Benedictine order tied to olive branches, which means peace. But olives also symbolize the end of times. Now, Benedict's shocking resignation, the first in 600 years,
Wow.
was this the glory or a delay tactic? Buying time before the apocalypse.
Maybe it was meant to be.
Yep. Now, Francis, which was 2013 to present, in Persecuna Extrema, or in the extreme persecution of the Holy Roman Church. The first Jesuit pope. He is also the first from the Americas, the first Francis, a saint who rebuilt a broken church. But now look around. Scandals, empty pews, a world that's hostile to faith. Now, is Francis the savior or the last custodian of a dying institution?
Well, it's predicted that religion and the church will suffer in the
Right.
last days.
Right. Yep.
I mean,
Now-
Barbara says the olive tree budding represents Israel becoming a nation again for the final time.
Yep.
That was in the 50s, wasn't it?
Yeah. The prophecy's power lies in its vagueness. Now, each phrase is a riddle solvable by only after a pope's reign. So take John Paul I, 1978. De meditate luna, from the half moon. His papacy lasted 33 days, which is just one lunar phase. His birth name, Albino Luciani. Albino means white, like the moon. Now, is this coincidence or just divine wordplay?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So medieval mystics believe God spoke it in symbols. And Malachi, a visionary, might have translated fragments of divine code into Latin. But what if the code wasn't divine? What if it was stolen from pagan oracles, occult manuscripts? The Vatican's index of forbidden books burned countless secrets. Now, why would this one survive?
I don't know. Maybe it was hid very well.
Maybe. So the final pope, Peter the Roman, the 112th pope, the last, Petrus Romanus, Peter the Roman, who will feed his flock amid many tribulations, after which the seven-hilled city will be destroyed.
Which is Rome.
Right. Now, no pope has ever taken the name Peter out of reverence for Saint Peter. To do so would be sacrilege or prophecy fulfilled. Seven-hilled city, Rome, will it burn? Will it collapse? Or just vanish? Right? What's going to happen? Now, conspiracy theorists whisper of a shadow pope already chosen. This person is a puppet of the New World Order. Now, others tie it to the third secret of Fatima, a 1917 vision of the church's ruin suppressed by the Vatican. Now, could this be coincidence? Or is it pieces of the same puzzle? What do you think?
I don't know. So, there's a few candidates for the next pope.
Is there?
So Peter the Roman, that is the phrase that Malachi said will be the last pope.
Yep.
There is a bishop who's up for the next position as pope, named Peter Erdo. So, I mean, could they put him in place to make this thing, more relevant.
Maybe.
There's
But
also another one.
would they be trying to do a self-fulfilling prophecy?
Yeah, there's really 3 Peters that are up for the next Pope position, which is Peter Turkskin of Africa, and the other one was Petro Parolin. So they're all named Peter.
But they get to change, pick a name when they go.
They can change their name. Yeah.
So, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm. So, we ask, are these threads random, or is there a pattern, a script written in the 12th century that's playing out in real time? The Vatican denies it, scholars mock it, but the prophecy endures because it speaks to our deepest fears. Larry thinks, I think Stewie Griffin has a shot.
That's hilarious. I like it.
Yeah.
I would like to see Stewie do it. That would be great. Oh, geez.
So what if it's a countdown, and what if we're nearing 0?
Well, I mean, what do you think people would do if they found out tomorrow that the world was going to end, or World War III was going to start? I mean, what do you think would happen to society?
They would either get right or go crazy. One of the two, which would probably go crazy.
I think that a lot of people in the South would buckle down.
Oh yeah.
Get their guns and their bullets and their canned goods and go hide in the cave.
I think a lot of people like the prophecies say that people will run for the hills and the mountains and cry for them to fall on them.
Right. I mean, you take what happened in the year 2000, right?
Yeah.
Remember, everything's going to go crazy because
Y2K.
That's right, the Y2K bug, right? Well, people did that. They did that very thing. Ran for the hills.
Mm-hmm.
They sold their houses. They did all kinds of stuff and just ran for it.
I don't know.
Just for a computer glitch, possibly.
I'm glad we don't know when it's going to happen.
Right.
So Benedict the 16th's unprecedented resignation is a loophole. On February 11th, 2013, the unthinkable happened when Pope Benedict the 16th, a man sworn to serve for life, suddenly resigned. The first papal resignation in over 600 years. And the Vatican called it a decision made for the good of the church. But was it really?
Yeah, I can say that's pretty crazy.
So his reign was tied to Malachi's phrase, Gloria Olivia, the glory of the olive. The olive, of course, symbolizes peace, but the Benedictine order, whose crest features olive branches, it's just a perfect match. But here's where it gets chilling. Benedict didn't die in office. He stepped aside. So is this a loophole? Is this another delay tactic?
Right.
I don't know. Think about it. So if his list ended with Peter the Roman, or ends with Peter the Roman, and Benedict was the olive, did the Vatican panic? Did they realize they were going toward the final pope? And maybe they bought themselves some time for making him resign.
Said it's for the best of the church.
Yeah.
So makes sense.
So
That would be weird. 33 days.
Yeah, 33 days. So here's a kicker. He didn't just retire, he became the Pope Emeritus, which a shadow figure lingering in the Vatican's gardens, a placeholder.
Hmm.
Crazy.
Isn't that weird? Pope Emeritus.
Yeah. And you ask yourself why? Well, because the next Pope, Francis, which is the current Pope, the first Jesuit Pope in history, bears the title in the extreme persecution of the Holy Roman Church. Now, is that a coincidence?
Probably not.
I think the clock is blinking red.
We're on the final countdown.
Yeah.
Do-do-do-do.
Barbara says usually the Pope is in until he dies. Resignations is almost unheard of.
That's what they said. It was the first one in 600 years.
Yeah. And 33 is significant. It's one, what was it? The moon, the month.
Oh, you're talking about one phase of the moon?
Yeah.
Yep. It's also the 33rd degree in masonry.
Yeah. 33.
Now let's talk about Pope Francis, the first Pope from the Americas, the first to take the name Francis, the first Jesuit. Malachi's phrase for him in persecution extrema, SRE, the extreme persecution of the Holy Roman Church, he will sit. Now look around. The church is crumbling. Attendance plummets. Scandals erupt like volcanoes. Governments legalize everything and the church condemns. And Francis, he's overhauling the doctrine.
Changing it.
Yeah, pushing mercy over dogma. Even hinting at reforms on celibacy and the LGBTQ issues. Now, to some, he's a modernizer. But to others, he's dismantling the church's foundations. But now here's the conspiracy angle.
Here you go, Jeff.
What if this is the extreme persecution? Not from the outside enemies, but from within. Now, the Jesuits, Francis's order, have long been accused of secrecy and political manipulation. Now, was he planted to accelerate the prophecy so they could weaken the church so it collapses on schedule? So you have one where they tried to hurry up and get him out to lengthen it, but then this one's in there to hurry it along.
Yeah.
And I almost say that I would believe that, because they was talking earlier about the red heifers and the rebuilding of Solomon's temple, all this stuff. I think that's them trying to hurry up the end times. Isn't it funny that all these people want to die? They do. They want to hurry up and get to the end of times. Jump off a bridge. Save us all some.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to die yet. Hey, Andrea. So then there's his name, Francis. Saint Francis of Assisi once had a vision. Rebuild my church, for it is in ruins. Does this sound familiar? Now, this Francis inherits a church in crisis, a church Malachi said would fall under its last pope. So ask yourself, is he reforming or is he unraveling? Now, the Vatican's silence, what are they hiding? What do you think?
Well, they've always denied the prophecy's authenticity. They call it a medieval forgery. But why do they dismiss it so forcefully? It's just not right. Why not laugh it off unless they're afraid of what it might reveal?
Right.
So behind the scenes in 2019, the Vatican opened its secret archives to researchers. But not everything was available.
I wonder why.
There was some documents burned, some records lost, and insiders whispered of a classified dossier.
Hmm.
So on Malachi, it was locked in a vault beneath the apostolic apostolic palace.
Palace.
Was what's in it?
Apostolic
Yeah,
palace.
apostolic.
Move on.
In a palace over in the Vatican.
Yeah. What is it? Yeah.
So was this proof that it could be real?
Yeah. They're wanting to die. You got to die to get there, Barbara.
Yeah. So consider this. In 1958, Cardinal Gillespie Siri was allegedly elected Pope, but forced to decline, supposedly because of the Cold War. Politics, conspiracy theorists claim that he was Pope Gregory the 17th skipped in Malachi's list. Huh. So did the Vatican manipulate the election to stay on script? Are they hurrying it or are they hiding it?
Right. Andrea says, I don't believe we'll ever hear the whole story. That's the truth, too. Yeah. There's always someone trying to hide pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah. So we've talked about the Benedict's resignation. When he stepped down, rumors, swirled of blackmail, scandals so dark it threatened to expose the church's underbelly, which is not too nice. So was Benedict pushed out to make way for Francis? Maybe.
Yeah, you gotta die. You ain't going in your body.
So the Vatican's silence isn't denial, it's confirmation. They know and they're terrified. What do you think?
Well, I think that it could only be one of two things, right? It is like the church is saying, it never really happened, and then that one person made it up, and it's just hogwash. But it's weird that things would line up like they have.
Right.
Or it's like you just said, and they're terrified and they're trying to whitewash it to make it look like a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Right? Because what do everybody say about the conspiracy theorists?
They're crazy.
They're crazy. Everybody that believes in those conspiracy theories are crazy. Now, this isn't just a Vatican secret. The world also senses it. In 2007, a book titled The Last Pope became a bestseller, speculating about Malachi's end times pope. There's been documentaries like The Prophecy of the Popes, dissect every papal move for clues. There's online forums that buzz daily. Is Francis the one? When will Peter the Roman appear?
Soon.
I mean, isn't our current one sick? I mean, he's like not doing so good, right?
No.
It's not also just the fringe, conspiracy theorists. It's also in the mainstream media that can't resist. When Francis visited Iraq in 2021, headlines screamed, Pope walks in ruins of Babylon. Is this the apocalypse? Even secular minds subconsciously link him to Malachi's finale. But the most haunting parallel? Nostradamus. His quatrains mention a great pope fleeing Rome amid chaos. The book of Revelation warns of a false prophet in a fallen Babylon. Are all these threads part of the same tapestry? Is this a tapestry Malachi wove 900 years ago?
You know, in that prophecy about the fall of Babylon during the Gulf War, you know, I was on edge when they started attacking Iraq
Yeah.
and Baghdad.
Yeah. When we was bombing it to dirt.
I remember it was on a Wednesday evening about 5 or 6 o'clock our time when they started, and it was scary. I said, Lord mercy, it's the fall of Babylon. We're going down. It's time.
Really?
Yeah, I mean it came true. Babylon fell, but we're still here.
Yes.
Maybe we're in the 1,000 years.
Well, it sure as heck ain't peaceful. Someone lied to somebody. Andrea says every different publicized Bible is dictated via the ruling publishing government. Many books are mistranslated and left out according to government power. Yep. Well, I believe that it's all just like most governments. It's a power trip.
Yeah.
You know, they want to tell you what you can and can't do. Otherwise, you're going to go to hell. Just like your government says you're free, but if you do this, this, and that, you're going to go to prison for the rest of your life.
Right.
You know, I mean, look, it isn't good to kill. I hate to work hard for something and someone steal it.
Right.
It doesn't take words from any book for me to know that that's wrong. You know, so I don't know. I just think that there's a lot of control mechanisms built into all this stuff.
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion. Now, what do you think?
I think it's been
We're
a good
living in
show.
the final act.
I'm not sure.
Because the world is holding its breath.
A lot of people are. A lot of people say it's the end times and it's coming true.
They've been saying it for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Thousands of years. So now, where does this leave us? With the resigned Pope, a reforming Pope, a silent Vatican, and a ticket. The question isn't if the prophecy will unfold, it's when. Because remember, Malachi didn't just predict popes. He predicted an ending. And every day, with every crisis, every scandal, we inch closer to those final words. In the extreme persecution, the city of Seven Hills will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge his people.
Yep. That's the fall of Rome.
Yep. Me too, Andrea. And I'm about to turn.
Yeah, Andrea says, I've been hearing this is the end of times my whole life. You have to admit, though, if you're as old as me and David, he's almost as old as I am. But in the 70s,
oh, man,
that was great. I didn't care about nothing but riding my bicycle.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's something to be said about being a kid and being innocent of having to worry about any of that. You don't know where your food comes from. You just know you go home and it's on the table.
Like I said last week,
you don't have to worry about electrical bills.
I was on the porch eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, swinging around the pole.
Yeah.
I was happy.
Yeah.
Didn't worry about it. But then I got a little older and I started seeing all this stuff, you know, happening, and got a little wiser and said, man, this world ain't good.
Yeah. Yep. People ruin it.
Yeah.
People ruin it for sure. The judge is coming and the Vatican knows it. Now, as we end near the end of this journey in St. Malachi's cryptic vision, we are left staring at a single unsettling question. Why does this 900-year-old prophecy still grip us? I think that's a good question.
Yeah.
Why? at the same time. Barbara says this is the first time in history all the prophecies have lined up together at the same time.
I'm still waiting on the Antichrist.
Right. I think it's going to be, well, I won't say that over air. I'll tell you here in a minute because we'll get shut down for what I was just about to say. It's almost like saying a letter of the alphabet. The answer lies in the shadows where faith meets fear. Now, St. Malachi's list isn't just a medieval curiosity, it's a mirror. Now, this is a mirror that reflects humanity's obsession with patterns, with hidden designs, with the desperate need to believe that someone somewhere knew what was coming. Now, that chaos has a script, that the end has a schedule.
Tick tock.
Yeah. Roy says too peoply.
Too peoply.
Too many peoples. Now think of it. For centuries, popes have risen and fallen, each seemingly tagged with a phrase so vague it could bend to fit any era, and yet so precise that it chills the blood. Pius X and the fire in the water as World War I loomed. John Paul II, the labor of the sun, a man whose reign stretched across the dying days of the 20th century, a century lit by nuclear fire. Benedict, Benedict the 17th, the glory of the olive, a people who stepped down, or a pope who stepped down, breaking a 600-year tradition, a resignation that didn't just shock the world, it fit like a puzzle piece snapping into place. And now Pope Francis, in the extreme persecution of the Holy Roman Church, look around. The church is besieged, not by armies, not by scandals, but by scandals, by empty pews, by a word that no longer kneels. Is this coincidence? Is this the prelude or the final act before Peter the Roman takes the stage?
Maybe.
Yeah.
So here's where the prophecy's true power lies. It doesn't just predict, it provokes. And why has the Vatican never really embraced it?
Right.
Why did they lock it away for 450 years only to let it surface during the chaos of the counter reformation of the church? It might be that the church knows something we don't, which is probably true.
They've got tons of books.
I think the Vatican knows a lot.
They do. Yeah.
So behind the walls and the sealed archives, there's a panic, and people are afraid that Malachi's vision was never a prophecy, but a warning. And what of us? What about us, the outsiders, the observers, the ones connecting dots in the dark? Every time a pope takes a new name, every time a global crisis erupts, we're drawn back to that list, to its riddle, to its promise of an ending, because deep down we crave the story, which we do. And the story that says this is all leading somewhere, and this is what matters.
Right. Yep. Most people are definitely can't stand the fact that if this doesn't mean nothing, then what's it for?
Yeah.
Right.
So prophecies are double-edged swords too. What if the very act of believing this fuels the outcome?
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Right. What if Peter the Roman isn't a divine decree, but a self-fulfilling script, a name chosen by a future pope who's read the legends? Yeah, that's possible. Who's, who decides,
Yep.
consciously or not, to play the role of Peter?
Yep.
So, I mean, the popes can change their name to whatever they want.
Yes.
So, we're here today watching the Vatican, watching the world. Remember that St. Malachi's prophecy endures not because it's true. I mean, it may not be true, but it is terrifying.
Right.
It terrifies the faithful people, the skeptics, and the conspirators. Because whether this is heaven's plan or humanity's hallucination, one thing's certain, that we are all characters in this story.
Right.
And the final line of the story, it's written in a dead language, waiting to be decoded. Petrus Romanus, Peter the Roman, the last pope, the end of the church, the end of Rome, and the end of us. What do you think? Or is it just the beginning of another mystery?
Right.
Yeah, we don't know.
No.
But that clock, I do believe, is ticking. I don't know if it's got anything to do with the Vatican.
Right.
But the next conclave could be our answer, or it could not. We'll just keep watching, keep questioning, and ask ourselves, what if the end was written a long time ago, and we're already on the last page? Something to think about. The very last page.
That'd be a very short book.
Oh, Barbara says the great whore in Revelations is symbolic of the Vatican and the Catholic Church. Yeah, I do believe that.
Mm-hmm. I have something to tell you on what I believe, but
Okay.
It'll be after the show's over. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, no. It's like saying what we said to get shut down before.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do that on air. No. Now, when it comes to stuff like this, I mean, Jason and I both really like, these kinds of.
It's almost a conspiracy, but not quite.
Well, it fits both, right? It's not only maybe a conspiracy, but it's a prophecy too, right? And so
we've turned it into a conspiracy. People have turned it into a conspiracy.
That's right. It was a prophecy that's kind of been turned into a conspiracy. What's neat about these things is, like what we've said a few times already during this show, is that a lot of people read into things that aren't there.
Yeah.
Or they just add something to make sure it fits perfectly. Right. And so, is this our form of pareidolia?
Maybe.
Where we're seeing these patterns and we're just trying to recognize them. So we start drawing lines and connecting dots and saying, oh, look, this is making big circles.
I see a little man.
Yeah.
In the tile in my bathroom.
He's got eyeballs. He's looking at me.
Every time I go to the bathroom, I see that man.
He's looking at me like this. He's making this really funny face.
Yeah, that's wild. That does happen to me when I'm in the bathroom looking at the tile. I see people looking at me.
And it could be all kinds of different things. The thing about it is that keep your eyes open.
Yep.
But if you're a Bible believer, person that believes in the King James Bible or any of those Bibles, they can't really follow this stuff.
Right.
Because it's written in there that no man shall know the day nor the hour. So there may be signs of the time, but that signs doesn't mean it's going to happen today, tomorrow, or the next day.
Yeah, it
or
does
5 minutes
say
from now.
We might know. It does say that in the Bible that we will know
by the
we're
signs.
by the signs.
Yes.
Yes.
That you're in the last days.
Yeah. But nobody knows when where, what time.
Right.
It's like a thief in the night.
Yes, exactly. So just depending on what you believe.
We do have an asteroid coming.
Another one?
I think it was like 2030, well, maybe 2029. I can't remember. But there's one coming close.
Yeah. Is it a big one?
Yeah.
Is that one that I keep hearing them talk about? That's like the size of the ones that killed out the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
That big, like.
Yeah. I remember in grade school, I was in maybe second, third grade. I think it came by then, a big one, and everybody was just chaotic. Today's the last day.
Oh my God.
Where I go to school.
If it's the last day, I ain't going to work. I ain't going to school.
Right.
I'm going to sit at home, watch TV in my underwear, and drink a beer. That's what I'm going to do. It's the last day. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Take up chiseling, because maybe the last thing I say will the next people who take over will see it. Like, what is this guy doing? We want to thank everybody for coming into the show tonight.
Yeah, it was a
Listen
good show.
to us ramble a little bit. I do hope you like the show, and Saint Malachi's Prophecy. Jason and I
Michelle
talked about
says, nope, she's got stuff for you to do right up until the end.
I guarantee you she would. She'd be like, no, we're putting the house on the market tomorrow. That's exactly what would happen. Sold as is.
Yep.
And then it would go right by. That's exactly what would happen. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming and listening to us. And we enjoy doing these things. And
thank you, Andrea. We had Andrea. We had Roy.
Faces in the Stone.
Michelle, Larry. Yeah, we had a good old time.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yeah. How can we forget Jeff, right?
Right.
So,
and there's Paranormal 411 in the chat too.
Yeah. Thank you, Paranormal 411, for listening. No, we enjoy getting to research and do these things, though.
Hey, Barbara, tell Mark that we need to set up 10 out there on his property for a whole night and do some hunting.
Are the pawpaws out?
I don't know. I mean, we're looking for a place.
Yeah, we're trying to find us a good place to do a Bigfoot nighttime investigation.
Yes.
We've got.
Oh, yeah. David got some new equipment here.
Got us some new equipment. And, man, night vision goggles. The nice LCD screen on the back. And these babies will see in zero light. Jason and I messed with them last night, didn't we, Jason?
Yep.
They're cool.
So that's going to be coming soon. I don't know if we can do a live. It just depends on where we're at. Maybe we can do like a live for a little while and then record the rest and put it up later.
Yeah. I mean, we could do an hour live or something and then keep recording. We can do all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
But it'll be fun. Hey, Jason, what do we have coming up? It's coming up quick.
May the 3rd, we're going to be at the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Festival in Townsend, Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be doing our show up there live.
Yeah, we did it last year. It was fun. And, well, it was fun after it stopped raining.
Yeah. Oh, man. It was not fun. I mean,
it was muddy.
It was very muddy.
Yeah, it was muddy.
But it was worth it.
What made it worth it was all the people that we got to see and tell us their stories live. Yeah. It was fun. Then where else?
So then we're going to be at the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference in Gatlinburg.
Oh yeah. Got some pretty good people coming this year.
July.
Yep. July, like somewhere around the 20th or so, I think.
Then we'll be going to in October, the Upper Cumberland Bigfoot Festival. We'll be up
Yes.
there set up.
That's an awesome place.
And we'll probably be here and there and a couple of places here in Loudon where we live.
Yep.
And surrounding areas as they do their little festivals.
Christina says you weren't saying that the day of, LOL. The day of, well, that morning when we got there and it was raining, they wouldn't let us drive over to where our tent was, and I had to carry thousands of dollars worth of electronics through the rain.
Yeah.
I was not happy. Was not.
Yeah, Michelle, thank you for reminding me. Also, we're going to be at the Knox Public Library, Cedar Bluff.
October 10th?
October, yeah. We're going to be doing our little presentation there.
Yes. Yeah, so if you missed the last presentation that we did, definitely come to the library in October and don't miss the next one, because we had a great time.
We'll probably have some new evidence.
Hopefully we will have some new evidence, and maybe we could scare some people while we're there next time.
Yeah.
These last people, though, they were very nice and understood that this was our first time ever doing it.
Yeah, it was pretty nerve-wracking.
Hey, 2 hours.
Yeah, we did 2 hours.
2 full hours
of a talk, of a lecture.
We lectured for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And now we're turning that lecture into a book.
Yes.
That will be the next book that comes out. Christina says it got better throughout the day. It did. The worst part of it was just the muck afterwards.
Yeah.
The mud and muck. But other than that, it was good. And all the people that still showed up that day.
Yeah. Hopefully it won't rain this time.
Or they put us in a better place that it's not muddy.
Yeah.
You know?
I think they were going to do some work on it to make it not so muddy.
It'd be nice.
Yeah.
I wouldn't gripe about that. Thank you, Shell. Thanks, everybody.
Right. Well, thank everybody.
Want to say you can find us at paranormal411.org, paranormal411 on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. Remember, tune in live every Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Also on Saturdays from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Remember, on Saturdays from 10 to 11, if you're in the metro Atlanta area, you catch us on WDJY FM. That's 99.1 FM. For listeners outside of Atlanta, visit us at WDJYFM.com, or you go to our website and click on the link. We're also on Subspace Radio and all major podcast platforms. We have a book out, East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore Edition 2. That is East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore Edition 2. It is available on Amazon, or you go to paranormal411.org, click the link, and purchase one. That is East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore Edition 2.
Yeah.
Join us.
Join us. Remember, subscribe on YouTube if you've not yet.
Yes, please. And we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll see y'all Saturday.
In the heart of Madisonville, Tennessee, lies a pizzeria like no other. Step through the door of Legends and Lore Pizzeria and be transported to a realm where paranormal and cryptid encounters, along with mouth-watering pizza, go hand in hand. Meet Eddie and his crew, who serve up slices of the supernatural along with the best pies in town. With the walls adorned with eerie artifacts, indulge in piping hot slices that melt in your mouth and tease your taste buds. And it's not just the locals who love the incredible pizza. Legends and Lore has been selected as the best pizza joint in all of Monroe County. As lovers of everything pizza and the paranormal, the owners have mastered the art of crafting unforgettable combinations that will leave you wanting more. To stay connected with this mystical eatery, follow Legends and Lore Pizzeria on Facebook, where tales of their latest creations and upcoming specials will be shared. Make sure to browse their custom menu, featuring legendary pizzas like the Chupacabra Ranch and the Exorcist. So, whether you have an appetite for the supernatural or simply seek the best pizza in town, Legends and Lore is the place to be. Come for the unforgettable flavors, stay for the captivating stories, and find yourself in a world where legends and pizza collide.
What if the world we know is merely a fraction of reality? What if there are forces, entities, and phenomena that exist just beyond our comprehension in the shadows of the unknown? Welcome to Paranormal 411, your gateway to the unexplained and the downright chilling.
Get ready to rock with the electrifying sound of Catalyst, a band that's sure to leave you wanting more. With their powerful lyrics and killer riffs, Catalyst is a great sound in the world of rock music. You can listen and find Catalyst on Bandcamp, or go to the link at paranormal411.org and click on their banner.